Hello everyone, Lifesaver here with another video. This time I'm going over all the weakauras and add-ons that I highly recommend when playing Resto Druid and Mythic Plus content. It's also beneficial in PvP as well as very beneficial in Raid. So I'm going to go over them. There's not too many to go over. I try to keep things as simple as possible. I don't like when you have an absurd amount of content, a crazy amount of frames. I found it to be more distracting for myself. So without further ado, let's get into it. We'll go into our add-ons first here and see what we got. First one is big debuffs. This is a very important add-on. So basically, whenever there is a debuff that you need to dispel, whether it's a poison or if it's a stun in PvP, whatever the case is, or your tank gets feared by accident from a mechanic, it'll make the debuff on the raid frames very big. Like right now, I have everything I can dispel at like 60%. So it'll be like a big square on the raid frame. Something like this. Like you can't miss it. It'll show the icon. So you know right away if there's a poison on someone, you see it, instantly dispel. Highly recommend this add-on. It's super beneficial. Not only in keys, very important in keys, because especially when you get the higher content, if you don't dispel something after the first tick, someone can die. Like it's crazy. Especially like the last boss of Siege, for example. If you don't instantly dispel when someone gets a debuff, you'll fall behind on dispels, and then eventually you'll just end up wiping. So very beneficial. Highly recommended. Omni CD. Very nice. It just tracks all your teammates' cooldowns. As a healer, this is super important. Not so much to troll your party, but just to know if your teammate has CDs. So if you see that, usually you're babysitting your shaman in your group, and you see that he's got his 40% DR up, well, now you don't have to give him bark. You know he's going to use a big wall. I might change my lifebloom from the shaman to maybe someone else in the group who might need a little, maybe like if there's an AUG or someone else in the group. So you can kind of see who has CDs and kind of coordinate who needs lifebloom more, who needs to get an iron bark from you. Super beneficial. And then also it's kind of nice if someone dies, you can look and be like, was it your fault or did the person have 3 defenses and didn't push a button? So it's just kind of nice. It's nice for learning as well, but also nice for high-end content when you're trying to communicate with your team. Instead of asking if you're playing like on comms, oh, do you have this ability, do you have this? You can just look quickly over. I have it to the left of my frames if you've seen any of my videos. And you just know, okay, this person has this, and I'll just say, use this defensive now. Makes it super easy. Makes it so you don't overlap DRs. Very important in high keys. Raid IO doesn't matter, obviously it's just for, I can see what your IO is and keys. This stuff doesn't matter too much. TrueFig GCD, this is literally just when I do my, when you guys are watching, if you're trying to see what I'm doing, right here in the bottom here is just showing every button I'm pushing. So if you want to follow along when I'm doing content, you can see exactly what I did. If you want to see how I healed a certain encounter, you just look in that little right corner and it'll tell you everything I did for you guys. Those are the main add-ons. I use normal UI, raid frames. Don't use party frames, that's very bad. It's going to really mess you up. Some people use there's a lot of different UI frames that you can use. A whole bunch of people that people prefer. I like to keep it simple. I like just a normal Blizzard raid frames. I like the color for the classes so I can see exactly who's getting hit. It tells my brain, I'm like, oh, there's a rogue in the group, I see yellow. I know he's going to feint everything. He doesn't need a lot of heals. And it just, for me, I like to keep it simple, and that's how I play. For weakauras, this is another big one. A lot of weakauras. I try to keep it not too crazy. Luxus is something that I love. This is like based on my entire frame. A lot of my classes that I play, I use Luxus. It just basically shows almost everything you have on the class, your main abilities that's up, if you have Send War, if you got Bark up, everything. It shows if it's up, it shows the timer on it. And then after it's finished, it actually shows the DR, the time, how long it lasts down here, like until it comes back up. So instead of looking at the bottom all the time, I can look just right in the middle here. I see the main abilities I need to know. If I need to know I have a light bloom up, I see my 1 light blooms up. I'm like, oh, I should have 2 light blooms up. I only see a 1 here. Apply to somebody else. Again, very beneficial. There's many different type of UIs like this. I like Luxus. I've just used it for a few years. You don't have to use Luxus. There's many other different ones. But if you like the way this looks, highly recommend it. Look up Luxus Druid or any other class you're playing. He does a very good job. Let's see for other weakauras here that we can go over. Luxus Druid. Nothing else is too crazy. There's one that basically, this for trinkets. It just shows you trinkets down here. Nothing too crazy here. You can put any trinket, and then I just know when I have procs, basically. I mean, if you're Spy Master, if you're running Spy Master, beneficial for some people. Target spells. This one's super, super great. In keys, basically, every time I get target by an ability, it'll appear basically right here in the middle of my screen with a timer when what the cast that's being casted on me, and when it's about to be cast. So it'll show like, you know, a bolt from an enemy, it'll show 3, 2, 1. So you know you can react. So if I see it, the timer, I'll look to see if I can kick it. If I can't kick it myself and I'm scared that my party's not going to do it, the only other response is to go bear form. This will save you a lot. Highly recommend this add-on. It tells you exactly when you're about to get cast on so you don't have any surprises. And it makes like a little sound, like a whoop, which is super nice. Even if you're not paying attention to right in the middle of your screen, you'll hear like that little ding, like a little oh, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm being casted on. I'm like, do I have kicked? I don't got anything up. If you're just scared and you know what's going on, just go bear form. Usually the safest play. It'll save your life a lot of times. Other than that, that's the main weakauras that I highly recommend. There's a lot of different ones you can do. There's lots of macros you can do as well. But the other big one I want to talk about for add-ons is called big wigs and little wigs. This is super important. It's specifically for Restoration Druid. It goes like weakauras number 1, and then big wigs, little wigs is number 2. And this is because of this, the way you can customize it. So I can go to like any boss. Let's say, let's do it better. Let's go to city here. Let's go to the 3rd boss. You're like, okay, I want to see Dark Pulse. I want to know when it's about to go out so I can start pre-hotting. You have your bars there, but sometimes you get distracted, you're moving around, you're not looking at it. You can edit it here, and all the things that require an AoE damage mechanic, I selected to a countdown. So you get a 5-second timer. It'll appear like right up here, like 5, 4. It'll do a countdown as well. So you know, if you're not paying attention to bars by accident, you'll hear the timer, and you'll know, oh shoot, I need to start pre-hotting. And 5 seconds is usually enough, because you should always have 2 lifeblooms out anyways. So once you hear the 5-second counter, okay, you send ward to somebody, you regrow somebody else, throw out 2 rejuves, and then you do the wild growth. You have all the time. 5 seconds is enough, as long as your 2 lifeblooms are always rolling, which they always should, especially on the boss encounter. Turn yourself in the tank, then you take out the lifebloom from the tank to somebody else. That saves you a global cooldown every time. So I highly use big wigs, little wigs. Super important, and just click countdown. Go through every boss. That's painful. Click the boss you want to do. You can even go to trash and select certain mobs that you want to see, like, oh, when does this guy do the big AoE? Oh, shoots like a frontal. You can click this, click a countdown, and it'll show a little countdown for those as well. Highly recommend it. I prefer it a lot more for deadly boss mobs. I find it like super loud, screaming at you. I didn't see a countdown option. There might be on deadly boss mods, but the last time I used it, I haven't seen it. Countdown is very important for Restoration Druid, just because specific for our class, we need a lot of prep time, a lot of ramp time to get ready for damage. And just a little reminder, if you're not looking at your bars, you're getting distracted, seeing that timer, you're like, oh, I gotta start hotting. So please do that. It will definitely improve your gameplay as a Restoration Druid. Other than that, I don't think there's anything too crazy that I'm going over here. Let me double check one more thing. Yeah. Well, we can do my macros, I guess. That might be beneficial for everyone as well. There's not too many that you have to go over. There's the Convoke one, right? Where it goes, you cast Nature Swiftness first. And then you also have that nochanneling first. So in case you click it before and you double click it, it doesn't cancel your Convoke. I've seen that happen before. It's really depressing. But slash cast nochanneling Nature Swiftness, slash cast Convoke the Spirits. And you just put this on your bar. Sometimes I have it like here and here, so if I want to do a normal one, because I'm saving NS for like a quick regrowth on somebody, depending on the fight, I'll do a normal Convoke. It just depends how you want to play it. But if you want to just set this macro and forget it, very easy. They line up 1 minute together. Big Convoke heals for the regrowths that hit. Efflo, I prefer this as well. It's just like curse over macro. So when I click it, it just drops it like this. I don't have to, click it and then select where my hand is and drop it. Again, you're wasting like a second. It's just, again, a little less efficient. I like this macro because I can just drop it away. I don't have to think about it. Keep healing right away. And when globals are very tight, especially in these higher keys that you get into, this is, I think, a very must macro. We have a renew one, which is nice. You can sort of cast Hellstone as well as use your heal. You can also use it for a potion if you want. I just use a normal renew. Also for renewal, I don't know if people know this. I know we're talking about macros, but try to use renew when you're in bear form, because 30% of your health. So if you're going bear form to gain the extra 35% health, you go to 9 million here instead of 6 million. Hold on a second, right at 6 million. So you gain 3 million HP, and the renewal is going to heal for an extra million health if you go bear form before using renew. Obviously, if you're casting, sometimes you just push it and you don't have time to shift. But it's about to be impact. You can bear form, hit the impact, renew yourself, and start healing the rest of your party. Again, a little free extra million heal, which is always nice and appreciated when you're trying to save global cooldowns. And then here's the NS one I was talking about, Nature Swiftness. I actually use this more than the Convoke one. It's just slash cast nature swiftness slash cast regrowth. So after I swiftman somebody, I just push one button here, and it basically just goes nature swiftness regrowth, and it's an insanely huge regrowth in somebody. A lot of big healing. It's super nice. Highly recommend it. And that's the main one. There's a kick one too. You can do it puts you into cat form, and it kicks as well. I'm usually going cat form or bear form anyways, as much as I can during keys. So while I'm shift anyways, I'll just basically get the first cast that I can. So if there's damage going out, I go bear form. The first cast, I say I got next, and I just kick, and then I can just go back into healing, not worry about it. Or if I'm doing damage, everyone's topped off during cat farm, just type. I'll be in Discord, and I'll say I got next, so I can instantly get a kickoff, get it on CD. My other teammates can get their CDs rolling back up, and I just go back in healing. I'm not trying to waste too much time sitting, waiting for the next cast. You'll never get a kickoff, and people will die sometimes. So instantly go in your form, get your kickoff as soon as you see a cast, just snipe it, go back to healing. That's what I recommend. But yeah, I hope this is beneficial, guys. Just went over just clickable main things. Weakauras, super important. The cast one is super beneficial. Highly recommend it, especially for dungeons. It's going to save your life a lot, being able to go bear form and react before you get hit by something. And as well as big wigs, little wigs. Those are probably the two main. If you want to keep it simple, get those two, and then get some type of UI that you like. I use Luxus. You can use whatever you like. Anything that makes your eyes, works for your eyeballs. You're not always looking all the way down here at your 30 buttons. I can just look at the 5 or 6 that really matter, and see the 2 that are my bigger cooldowns. I like it that way. But I hope this helped, guys. Hope you guys found some benefit. I'll try to link the actual the macros in my actual description below, so you guys can copy paste it if you like. And yeah, catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and keep pooning.